Hello legends, today is the first ever album review on the channel. It is Jamie Webster's debut album, We Get By. So hello, welcome back to the channel. I don't normally upload on a Saturday, but yesterday Jamie Webster's debut album came out, We Get By. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jamie Webster is a singer-songwriter, probably best known for singing at the Liverpool BOSS night events for Liverpool fans, where they sing like LA, LA, LA and Virgil van Dijk and the Bobby Firmino song. But he's more than that. He is also a sort of serious singer-songwriter, and he doesn't get the sort of time and attention that I feel he deserves for his solo stuff, for the stuff that isn't about Liverpool Football Club, for the stuff that is about Jamie Webster as an artist, as a musician. I forgot to mention this when I filmed this, so I'm throwing it now while I'm editing. I have not put any of the music in this video because I want you guys to go and actually check out Jamie Webster on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, your local record store, wherever you get your music from. So there's no music in this video for that reason. He recently released Weekend in Paradise, which for me is a great upbeat song. It's about having a weekend, you know, when you're on the session for the whole weekend. There's no better word than the session. You're on a session all weekend, and he says, is it a weekend in paradise or a pointless 3-day bender? And that's what the whole song is about, and it's amazing, and it captures quite a lot of emotion. This album has that song in. It has a lot of other tracks which are like a social, political commentary, which for me, I like that. I know some people are like, I don't want my music to be political. Personally, I like political music. Music has always been political for me. To try and describe what the album is like is difficult because it's not really like anything else. You know those bands like Iron Maiden, you listen to an Iron Maiden album, that's Iron Maiden. If you listen to Elton John, that's Elton John. Jamie Webster, for me, even if you just compare this to his Liverpool stuff, has that it's Jamie Webster, which is a very difficult thing for an artist to have, especially in the sort of infancy and the early stages of his career, which is, in my opinion, going to go in the future. It's going to go to infinity and beyond, to use the Buzz Lightyear t-shirt to good effect. But basically, he's got his own sort of vibe. If I was trying to liken it to someone, don't want to say Ed Sheeran because he's still there with a guitar, but it's like a better, for me, it's like a better Ed Sheeran with a bit more of an anti-establishment, anti-political vibe. Kind of like, it's got, if you like Guns N' Roses is one of my favourite bands, it's got that same anarchical, anti-establishment kind of FU attitude against the establishment. There's some great tracks on there about this anti-political stuff. Like one is called Change, and there's a quote from there that says, "This shithole of society." He wants to break free from it. That's a good quote about it. Another song is called Stop Living Blind. He's telling you guys to open your eyes to what is happening. One of the best tracks on the album that is political is called Something's Gotta Give. Some people would liken this to almost like a Bob Dylan sort of track. It's basically about everyday working class life, the struggles of a working class person day in, day out, and it hits you in the feels. It really, Jamie Webster for me, he has an ability to bring out emotions in people with his music that is very, very rare. It's very, very rare for someone to be able to drive the emotion. And I know we often think about Jamie Webster as the Liverpool guy. I'm a Liverpool fan. We often think about Jamie Webster, LA, LA, LA. For me, other than maybe the Liverpool fans inside Anfield, there's no better LA, LA, LA in the world than Jamie Webster. It's because of the emotion, you know, the struggle to conquer all of Europe. He makes you feel that, and this album, it bleeds into every song. The struggle of being a working class person, you know, the pressure from the establishment. He talks about the struggles of gyro checks. He just makes you feel the pain and the suffering of working class people around the country, and even I think this album, I don't think this is just an album that's going to appeal to you in the UK because of the anti-establishment ethics in the UK. I think if you listen to this in America right now, with everything going on over there, I think you would listen to this and this would resonate. One of the other brilliant tracks is called The Joker. It is basically about someone who is so disillusioned with society and so abandoned by society that they become the villain. Similar to the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. If you haven't seen that film, this song probably sums up everything you needed to know from it, because it's got that feel, it's got that emotion, and it's all about being vilified and segregated and just that, again, that emotion. Another amazing track on the album is called Grinding the Gears. It's got kind of like a ballady, slower sort of strum to it, and for me it feels like early Oasis, like the slow, like the Oasis ballads, like Half the World Away or something, you know, like that same sort of vibe, you know, I've been lost, I've been found, that same kind of, I've been let down by society, I've been let down by the world. It's got that same sort of feel, but it also has glimmers of hope, and I think that is an amazing thing about the song. But again, Jamie Webster, the emotion that he made you feel, like the emotion that he brings out in a song is just, for me, it's ridiculous. When I've heard him sing Liverpool songs, he brings out big emotion in me, but to hear his new album, and I've had it constantly on, I've listened to it 3-4 times, I feel the emotion every single time, and that is what a good songwriter, singer-songwriter is about. It's about drawing out the emotion, and he smashed it. Possibly my favourite song on the album. I don't want to sort of nail my sort of self to the mast and say this is my favourite song on the album yet, but possibly my favourite song on the album is This Place. Now, this has been on Sky Sports, I believe. It was featured briefly on there with a sort of series of images of Liverpool in the build-up to us winning the league this year. But for me, it's strange, because I'm from Ipswich, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I've recently moved back to sort of my hometown, and that feeling of home that he gets in that song, you know, he's like, this place is where I'm from, and he says, you know, wherever he is, kind of like that's home, and it's just emotion in that. And it's weird for me because the song connects me to two places. Although it's about this place, it doesn't say these places, it's this place. I feel it connects me to like Liverpool because of, obviously I've got a big attachment to Liverpool, being a Liverpool fan, and you know, he sings about the birds, and it drags me there. But also it drags me to that feeling of Ipswich, that feeling of being at home compared to elsewhere. And I have lived in other sort of cities, and a bit like the Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. But Jamie Webster makes you feel that, and I cannot believe how good that song is. The album is ended with We Get By, which is a song about, you know, the working class struggles and how hard life can be, because life ain't always easy. And he really, really pictures that, resonates that. He makes you feel that even if you've not been in that struggle yourself, you can really feel that struggle that some people had. Jamie Webster, before, I think it was about 12 months ago, he managed to start doing music full time. He was still working as an electrician. For me, it's just, he's quite a genuine guy, but the emotion he brings from you with his songs is, I've never in my life experienced an album that made me feel as much as this one. For me, this is a big statement now, but for me, my favourite album of all time is Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. For me, this is close in terms of the emotion and the potency and that social commentary, but I love that anti-establishment, anarchical feel that Jamie brings out in this. He's like, no, this is how society is, this is how we can change it, this is what we should do. There's lines about the Tories, there's all sorts of anti-establishment political statements in a fun way, but also just, it's a vibe. It's that sort of album that you could, for me, it's a utility album. This album is an album that you could do so many things to. It's the sort of album you could play if you run a shop. You'd have it going in the background, no one would come in the shop and think, oh, that's annoying, because it's that good and it's that sort of vibey, but it's melodramatic, but it's calm and it's punchy and upbeat, but then it's sad and it's just got that emotional thing. It's just got everything. For me, this album has everything, apart from the heavy metal that I do quite like. I like metal, but apart from the heavy metal aspect, it has everything. And I just want to add a little bit here about Jamie Webster's guitar playing, because it reminds me of the soft slash solos from the Guns N' Roses sort of more acoustic songs like November Rain and This I Love. Not just when he sings can you feel what he's saying and the music. When he plays that guitar, you feel what he's playing, and that is just, in my eyes, in today's music, that is something that is not lost, but it's shrinking. If you listen to albums from 30 years ago, 50 years ago, the Beatles, if you listen to a Beatles album, it makes you feel. And I would, you know, I know people will say the Beatles is big praise. This has got a Beatles kind of thing for me. Like, I would say Beatles meets Bob Dylan meets Oasis meets Elton John and Bernie. Is it Elton John and Bernie Taupin? It's their level songwriting meets Ed Sheeran. It's just quality throughout this, and I think it is underrated. And want to now say, I urge you to go buy the album. Go buy the album, because it's so good. It's so good. Give it a listen on Spotify. Please don't stream it illegally. Just do something where Jamie's going to benefit a bit out of it. Even if you're just trying it on Spotify, where he's not going to get much from you streaming it, he will still get something. Just give him a go, because I think you're going to love it. I have to give it a score out of 10. When I review anything, I give it a score out of 10. Jamie Webster, We Get By, is going to get a 9 out of 10. The reason it's a 9, not a 10, is it's only 12 tracks. That is the only bad thing I want to say. It is the only bad thing I want to say about the album, is it could have been a 14 track, a 16 track album. If Jamie Webster had have put an extra 2 songs into it, I know it maybe wouldn't have been released as quick, and I'm glad it's out now. I'm glad I can listen to it now, because that is going to be my most listened to album of 2020. I would predict that now. You know, when you get the Spotify thing at the end of the year, what did you listen to most? It's going to be that album. I can tell you now, even though it missed 8 months of the year, because it's that good. I just want to listen to it again and again and again already, and it's only like the second day, and I just want to listen to it again. I just want to listen to Jamie Webster again and again. It's so good. I can't speak highly enough of it, but like I say, the only negative on the whole album is he could have given me 2 more tracks. Could have given me 2 more tracks. That's all I would, you know, if you're watching Jamie, 2 more tracks would have made it a 10 for me. You know, maybe a 15 next time. I want more. It's a criticism that I'd like more, but it's also a compliment, because I want more of this album. I want more Jamie Webster solo stuff. I want more Jamie Webster stuff that isn't about Liverpool. I don't want him to stop doing any of the Liverpool stuff. I want him to keep recording the Boss Night stuff. I want him to keep recording LA, LA, LA and those songs, and You'll Never Walk Alone. His cover of You'll Never Walk Alone, for me, is in the top 3 versions of You Never Walk Alone. And this, again, this tells you how good I rate Jamie Webster, right? Top 3 You Never Walk Alones. Jerry and the Pacemakers, Elvis Presley, Jamie Webster. Genuinely, for me, that is the 3. That is the 3 best versions of You Never Walk Alone. So that shows you just the level. You know, I feel like I'm going to get hate for this in the comments, because I've likened him to the Beatles, Oasis, Elvis Presley, Elton John. Absolute legends. But that is how good I see Jamie Webster and how good I see this album. Give it a listen, guys. Do go listen to something legit, and do let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. Hopefully you like my first album review. I don't plan to do hundreds of album reviews, but I didn't plan to review this. I did not plan to review it, but I listened to it, and it kind of touched me emotionally, and I thought, you know what, let's make a video. Let's tell people how good this is, because for me, it's that good that I want to tell you legends that are watching this, because I want you to be able to enjoy it as well. I want you to be able to go listen to Jamie Webster, We Get By, Available in all good record stores. Does anyone go to record stores anymore? I don't know, but it should be available in all good record stores. There is a physical version. I did see an LP online somewhere. I probably will get the LP, to be honest. That's probably the next step for me. But yeah, it's on Spotify. So if you want to go try it for free, Spotify and Jamie Webster will still get a little bit because you got your ads and that. So give it a go. If you've enjoyed this, do subscribe to the channel. I will link you. Yes, you have been one of my legends. And I'll see you real soon. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. If you've enjoyed that, you can click up here and you can watch another video of mine. Or if you really love it, if you really, really love it, or even if you just like it a little bit, go down here and subscribe to the channel. It means you'll never ever miss what is coming up real soon.